Japanese horror was not recognized as a cinematic phenomenon up until the late 90s, but there were many examples of it no more than 30 years prior to that. Film auteur Kaneto Shindo lived a long life up until the age of 100 years old. He was born in Hiroshima in 1912 and sadly experienced a bombing of his own village in 1945. Although he was not present for this bombing, the trauma of it still affected him and his livelihood. Not only did this affect and inspire his experimental films, he was also drafted in 1943 by the Imperial Navy during World War II. He was a part of a 100-man unit, and only 6, including himself, remained after 21 months of service. Before he was drafted in 1922, Kaneto worked as a screenwriter and assistant to director Kenji Mizoguchi. After his service in the war, Kaneto got a job in his scriptwriting department at Shochiku Ofuna Studios. He wrote many scripts there, but he wanted more. He wanted to make his own films. In 1950, he made his own film company called Kindai Iaigai Kyokai. He was able to use his own creative direction and made many genres, including horror, melodrama, supernatural, jiragaiki, which is period drama, and all of these had a very large political and social focus. His films speak on the quiet drama of every day, as well as controversial historical events. He liked to use a mixed style of fiction and documentary. In 1964, he released the film Onibaba. Onibaba quite literally means demon hag. It was inspired by the Buddhist tale of Fumi. Onibaba showed the world the savagery that people would have to turn towards during the Nanboku Cho period. Most of his films include a mother and a daughter-in-law, which Onibaba did. The main characters in the film weren't actually ever given names, so we can refer to them as Kichi's mom and Kichi's wife. In order to survive during this state of desperation, the two of them hide in the Suzuki fields and kill any samurai that come across. Their crops have been destroyed due to war and bombings, so the only way that they can make money or eat is to turn to these brutal tactics. When they kill the samurais, they steal their clothes, their armor, their masks, and they sell it for food. After doing so, they throw them in this deep, dark hole. All is well. Until Hachi, a friend of Kichi, a samurai who has actually escaped the war, returns home alone. Kichi's mother questions him for a long time, wondering why did he get to live and Kichi's nowhere to be found. He also ruins this sort of dynamic between the mother and the daughter-in-law, especially because they're not actually related anymore due to his death. But also he has this strong sexual desire for Kichi's wife. This desire sparks something in the mother. It makes her angry. She might be actually worried for her daughter-in-law and the intent behind Hachi's sexual desire for her, or maybe she's just frustrated with the fact that she's craving this sex too. It's hard for her to just kill on her own. Being the old woman she is, Kichi's wife really helped her get food. Every one of Shindo's films has something to say about the social and political ruling during the time it was released in Japan. In Onibaba, we get to see Shindo's theme also explore the human sexuality part of these very primitive beings. Shindo also mentions that the Suzuki fields themselves in which they hide and kill also represent sexual desires and emotions. The widowed daughter starts to sneak out to Hachi's hut every single night, and as she runs through the fields, the leaves sway viciously. Shindo also used naturalistic sounds of pigeons cooing. He then mixed it to sound almost horrific, and it represents that desire. The last samurai that Kichi's mom kills has a mask. The audience is never clear as to why he decides to kill him rather than just helping him out of the fields. We can assume that maybe she's just interested in seeing his face because he tells her multiple times that he's so beautiful. It could also be the fact that her son most likely died at the hands of a samurai, and this vengefulness that she has would make her feel better to just kill him anyways. When she kills him, she then throws him down that hole and steals the mask and uses it against her daughter-in-law. When the daughter-in-law runs into this mask, she goes home scared. She thinks a demon is out to get her. Kichi's mom tells her that a demon would only show up if she was doing something wrong, basically saying that her sleeping with Hachi is horrible, and because of that, a demon will haunt her. In the end of the movie, Kichi's mom cannot get the mask off. She begs the daughter-in-law to help her. The daughter-in-law has to smash in the mask in order to get it off. And when she gets it off, Kichi's mom's face is bloody and broken. It looks terrifying. She looks like a demon. And even Kichi's wife says that it's her punishment, and she is the demon now because of what she's done. She screams and runs, and the film ends with multiple jump cuts of Kichi's mom screaming, "I'm a human being." Shindo said that the destroyed face is not the end of the world. This miserable face will dry later, and she will one day find the day to live again. She has to find it. By destroying her face, I said something about the beginning of a new life for people who are assaulted by unexpected social events. There is also another film that Kaneto made that derives from these themes almost exactly. In 1971, he released Kaneto. Kaneto means black cat. It's a tale that one would say is more disturbing than Onibaba. The film starts pretty brutal. It starts with a group of samurai going into a village, and they find two women, Yone, mother, and Shige, daughter-in-law. They are both brutally raped to death by the samurai, and while their hut burns down around their dead bodies, a cat appears. As the movie continues, samurai show up dead in the morning, in the woods, in random places, always with the same cut around their necks. A beautiful figure, which is actually the ghost of Shige, shows up every night at Rashomon's gate to lure samurai to her and her mother-in-law's hut. They had made a vengeful pact made with the evil god in order to keep living, which was said that they had to kill and drink the blood of every samurai alive. The ironic part of this story is that Raiko, Shige's husband, and Yone's son, is actually a samurai now. He was lucky in the war and was the only survivor of the 2,000 men that were with him, which kind of reminds me of Kaneto Shindo's own story. In defeating an important foe, when he gets back to his village, he receives a higher title and is given the job to kill the ghost. When he first meets them, he can't get over the fact that they resemble his wife and his mother completely. But he knows that they must have died somehow. Once he finally figures out the truth, he obviously doesn't want to kill them. But in the end, Shige actually dies. She sacrifices herself to spend a week with Raiko. She knows that she will go to hell if she doesn't live up to her pact, but she does not care. She won't kill her own husband, and she'd rather have a week of love before going to hell than living in hell already. As for Yone, she actually tricks her own son in the end. And in the last scene, he is seen lying dead where his mother and wife originally died. Instead of fire, snow appears and freezes his body over. Both films are speaking upon the political and social aspects of Japan during and after the war. Whereas samurai were supposed to be seen as these heroic figures in both films, they're actually depicted as a higher power that can just do so as they please. For example, in the first film, Onibaba, the mother believes that she has to kill the samurai because he's the reason that her son is dead. Although he most likely didn't actually kill her son, it's the implication behind it, that these samurai aren't good people. As for Kaneto, they quite literally raped them to death. They come back as these vengeful spirits to avenge what had happened to them and what most likely had happened to a lot of other women. Also in both films, sexual desire is an overarching theme. It was more to show that sometimes man and woman just need man and woman, and it's as simple as that is. In Onibaba, this sexual desire is seen more as lust rather than actual love. But for Kaneto, love is shown as heartbreak. No matter what, Shige would have ended up dying. If she never turned into a ghost, she would have died right then and there. And if Raiko ended up killing her. In the end of it all, she decided to die for him. Both films use the actress Nobuko Odawa as the mother in both of them. These films have horror elements to them, but it's not in its entirety. Rather, they take horror itself as their own subjects. For example, the mom could be seen as this depiction of horror in both of the films. She's the end of her own demise. She ends up cursed by her own doing. As for the second movie, although she does appear very sad and heartbroken about the ironic part that her own son is a samurai and she has made this vengeful pact, she actually tricks him and ends up being the reason he dies. Their experiences with samurais always kill or be killed. Both films also do this sort of supernaturalness to them. Onibaba is inspired by this Buddhist tale, and in the film, at the end, it shifts more towards the spirituality part. In Kaneto, the supernaturalness is prominent from the very beginning. During this era, color was available for film, but Kaneto Shindo opted out of color and made the creative decision to just shoot black and white. He felt that color would have been more distracting and take away from the story itself. His black and white cinematography is beautiful and striking. In Kaneto, he uses light as a means to show that the women are ghosts. He has these beautiful close-up shots that show the emotions of each characters, how old and sick they look due to the war, and Kaneto Shindo's lighting and shadows are not to be overlooked. He was way ahead of his time. Not only are his narratives phenomenal, but his cinematography was also before its time. Some of the effects are so subtle, such as the cottage rooftop shifting eerily through the treetops in the moonlight. There's actually one scene of one of the first samurais that they lure to their house, and behind him you can see that the trees aren't swaying, they're literally moving. As well as this, both films show how people are trapped by their own circumstances. A sort of mix of this fiction and documentary style, showing what life was like and how low people have to go sometimes due to what is happening around them. Kaneto Shindo was considered a legendary and is a legendary auteur in Japan. For the 70 years that he was a filmmaker, he wrote over 200 screenplays and directed 48 feature-length films. He was ahead of his time with everything that he made, including horror, sound effects, and his subtle ways in showing viewers meaning behind what is happening. And his cinematography is beautifully done, and everything he places in the picture always has a purpose and meaning. Kaneto Shindo is a legendary auteur. His themes are very striking, they're very powerful for the viewers, and they still resonate with us today.